Alright. Sukeno, how are you gonna already open up on a cute Rokuro? You can't. What is he catching fish with his bare He's catching fish with his bare hand. He's still cute though. It's okay. You can't do this to me, Sukeno. Well, that's classic bathing. That's Twin Star in a nutshell. What the fuck are those? What hell spawn are those? What are those? Oh, hell nah. I'm out of this world, dude. That's so sweet. Don't. No. Oh, what the fuck? Okay. I mean, I guess that gives, like, Outcast Village a little bit more purpose in the story, so that's cool. Uh, yeah, this is the shit I've wanted to know about for a long time, so... Oh my god, big booby girl will never fucking go away. Jesus. Ah, he looks so good. Ah, she looks so good. Well, I like seeing her with a better expression on her face than that, but still, Benio! Dude, Yuto is always like having something to do in this story. It doesn't matter whether he's dead. It doesn't matter whether he's been dead and already did something in the story. He can come back and do something in the story again a second time after he died. It doesn't matter. Yuto's just always there. Forever. That's... Well, that's fucked up. I would rather not see that. Like, goddamn. Yeah, tell him, Benio. Shit on this fool. Tell him! Benio, slap this fool! Get his ass! Ah! Benio's the waifu! Ah! God damn those fucking legs! Oh, dude, that is the most ass that has been in Twin Star since the beginning. Except for maybe Shimon's flat ass, but whatever. Dude, to all the people that like always complain about Benio not doing enough. Ah, dude, she slapping, she doing work right now. Ooh, spicy Benio content. Let's go. So, Twin Star Exorcist, it's pretty darn good. In fact, it's one of my favorite manga. I started reading it last year, and I finally caught up last month. I delayed it. I was reading the physical releases, and I just did not want to catch up, but I finally bit the bullet, and I caught up last month to the chapter 104 after it was released. And yes, last chapter was kind of crazy. Some big reveals going on, and it was one of the best chapters of the series in a little while. Or well, I mean, I kind of binge read them, but it was one of the best chapters of the last 5 or 10 probably. And so that brings us to now 105. And this chapter was really good, but not maybe as big of a reveal. Nothing that fundamentally changes the characters or anything. I mean, there are some reveals. For the most part, it's a exposition chapter. And I don't think that's a bad thing. In fact, the last chapter was also kind of an exposition chapter. Twin Star has always kind of done this where it just has exposition dumps, and I don't think that's a bad thing per se. Just because there is so much lore and all that, it's fine for it to have exposition dumps. And it also doesn't do it like constantly. And it's like saving some of this until towards the end of the manga where we're finally learning certain things that we've waited for a very long time to learn. So I think it's okay for Twin Star to take the time and just give us some exposition, to give us the answers that we want to know. So in this case, we learned a little bit about the Great Yang, a little bit more about a previous battle 800 years ago with the Great Yang, and also pretty much how the Great Yang's soul was being protected by this village, or rather, it was like the village was built around it, as the Great Yang was being kind of kept there as to keep it like held down, but here we are, Rokuro's the Great Yang now, so that's cool, right? As far as that goes, nothing there like is that surprising. I mean, it's nice to learn more about the Great Yang, but again, it's not really something that's like, wow, we couldn't have seen that coming. And then in the back half, we focus a little bit more on Benio and Sakanashi, and they're having like this back and forth about Sakanashi's plan, which is to pretty much use Yuto's body as a vessel for the Great Yang Anyan, and he'll like control it like a mecha pilot. I don't know exactly, but point is, he wants to make a big old Frankenstein monster of the Great Yin, the Great Yang himself, and Yuto's body. And then, the plan goes from there to use it to kill the Kagare King and try and make a world that's populated just by Kagare. I think Sakanashi's like, okay. I don't like particularly love his plan or anything. It's not like something that's drawing me into the series. So like, oh shit, what's Sakanashi gonna do next? It's not really like that for me, but I think he's still fairly effective. I think it maybe takes the idea of the Great Yin and Great Yang and does something with it. The idea of, two opposites, together, you look at the yin and yang symbol, you get the idea, right? And like forcing it all together, like to artificially create a prophesized child and to take advantage of that. I think it's an interesting like way of attacking, I guess, the protagonist, in the way that like he wants to kind of abuse what they are. I think that's more interesting than him as a character thus far. Maybe there's like some stuff I've forgotten about him, little details, or maybe it's also just that there's more to him eventually, like more about who he specifically is. Sukeno typically gives a lot of the Kagare backstories, so I wouldn't be surprised if we learn more about him later on, but for the moment, I think he's like a decent villain, and his plan is pretty okay, but we already know this shit's gonna get stopped, in a chapter or two, maybe three, who knows. What I'm assuming is that he's like the penultimate villain. We're looking at a situation where we're kind of gonna work on wrapping up, whatever here with Sakanashi, and then eventually moving towards the Kagare King. That's at least what I'm assuming, so. And the last thing I have to talk about, and this applies to, well, not every chapter, not all 105 chapters, because Rokuro and Benio are not in every chapter, but every chapter that Rokuro and Benio are in, oh, they're so cute. There's quite a few panels in this chapter that are just really well drawn. Sukeno is one of my favorite artists, and the way he draws characters has gotten so good. I mean, you look back on the early volumes and compare to now, oh, he's upgraded 10 times fold. Like, Benio is the cutest anime girl, no cap, and Rokuro makes me question my sexuality, okay? Like, these two are so goddamn cute, it hurts. Like, I don't know, and this chapter just had, like, some pretty banging Rokuro and Benio drawings, so I'm happy. Can't wait to see the two together again, because that's when they're peak cute, so. And there was also the idea of them being different from humans that was brought up. And I thought that was nice because Rokuro has this big life altering revelation of that he's a clone, you know? That's like, you know, life shattering, world shattering. The whole world would come crashing down for most people. But if anything, he's okay with it because it means that he is more similar to Benio, that they can be together in their difference from the rest of humanity. You know, it's just so endearing that like he feels that way. It's very, very nice. And yeah, I mean, it's like, well, Benio's the Kagari princess. We've known that she's a Kagari for like 10 volumes now, almost around that range, maybe more even. Yeah, it was more than 10 volumes ago, and it makes sense that Rokuro also would be different, that he is not just a normal human. And there's something a little bit poetically beautiful about the idea that these two complete each other as yin and yang. It goes all in on that idea. And yeah, I mean, there is no better couple to do that with than Rokuro and Benio, because even just personality wise, they kind of complete each other, right? Yeah, this chapter was pretty good overall. Maybe not like the biggest banger chapter. I expect that things are going to be ramping up before too long. We're kind of getting the exposition dumps. I assume we're getting ready for some action. It's been a little while since we've had that. So, yeah. The only thing that's a little bit notable for something that's missing is we didn't get Suzu or Kamui, which I think is okay. I think you would have kind of had to force them in, you know, if anything. But yeah, overall, good chapter. Looking forward to the next one.